The first time I met Karen, she wasn't just another neighbor. She was the type of person you could smell trouble from before she even opened her mouth. You know the kind. The self-appointed queen of the cul-de-sac, clipboard in hand, rules memorized word for word, as if the world had been created just to bow to her authority. She caught me on my very first morning at the lake house, standing tall by her perfectly trimmed hedge, glaring at me like I had already committed a crime. "Excuse me," she called out, striding over, "you'll need to sign these papers. You're now part of the Lakeview Homeowners Association. Monthly dues are $350. It's mandatory." I raised an eyebrow, taking the packet from her but not signing a thing. "Thanks, but I'm not interested. My property deed doesn't mention an HOA, and I don't plan on joining one." Her face twisted, almost as if I had spat in her coffee. "Everyone here joins. We maintain the lake, the roads, the community. It's the law." That was my first mistake, thinking this conversation was just about a club I didn't need. Because what I didn't realize then was that Karen had built her entire identity on controlling this neighborhood. And me saying no wasn't just a rejection, it was war. The days that followed felt like living under a microscope. Every morning, I'd find Karen pacing the sidewalk in front of my property, scribbling in her little notebook. One day she complained that my mailbox wasn't in compliance. Another day, it was the angle of my trash can. She even knocked on my door to inform me that the color of my porch light wasn't HOA approved. Each time, I calmly reminded her, "I'm not in your HOA, Karen. Your rules don't apply to me." That's when she snapped. It was a warm Saturday afternoon when I saw two police cars pull up to my driveway. I stepped outside, confused, only to see Karen standing behind the officers, arms folded, smugness radiating off her like heat waves. "This man is refusing to comply with the Lakeview HOA," she told them, "and he's threatening the safety of the community by neglecting basic standards." The officers looked embarrassed, shifting their weight. One of them asked me for my ID, and I calmly explained the situation, showing them the deed to my property. No HOA, no obligation, no rules binding me. They nodded, apologized, and told Karen she was wasting their time. But Karen didn't back down. She shouted, "If he's not in the HOA, then he shouldn't even be living here. This neighborhood has standards." I'll never forget the look the officers gave her before leaving, a mix of pity and annoyance. And I'll never forget what Karen said next, as if it were a personal declaration of war. "You'll regret this. Nobody lives here without my approval." For weeks, Karen doubled her efforts. She spread rumors about me, told neighbors I was some sort of squatter, even tried to block deliveries from reaching my house. She filed noise complaints, even though I lived alone and barely made a sound. Every tactic she had, she threw at me. But here's the thing Karen didn't know. She thought I was just another homeowner resisting her little empire. What she didn't realize was that I wasn't just her neighbor, I was her landlord. See, Karen's house. The one with the perfect hedges, the freshly painted shutters, and the endless parade of potted flowers. Yeah, she was renting it. From me. I had bought a cluster of properties around the lake a few years back, and Karen's home was one of them. I never bothered telling her. Her lease was handled through a property manager. To her, I was just another face on the street. But to me, she was a tenant. The day I revealed the truth was one I'll cherish forever. She was in the middle of another rant, waving her HOA paperwork in my face, threatening to take me to court for not mowing my lawn exactly 3 inches high. I let her go on for a while, arms crossed, before pulling a folded piece of paper from my pocket. "Karen," I said calmly, "you might want to stop. Because the next time you threaten me, I won't be answering as your neighbor. I'll be answering as your landlord." She blinked, confused, until I handed her a copy of her lease agreement, with my name listed as owner. The silence that followed was delicious. Her lips parted, her face went pale, and for the first time since I'd met her, she had no words. Just wide eyes staring at the truth. You can't be serious," she stammered. "I'm very serious," I replied. "So here's how this is going to go. You're going to stop harassing me. You're going to stop sending police to my doorstep. And you're going to accept that I'm not part of your HOA. Otherwise, I'll have to start reconsidering whether you're the right fit for my property." Dash dash dash. From that day forward, Karen's reign of terror ended. She stopped knocking on my door. She stopped parading her clipboard past my lawn. In fact, she started avoiding me altogether, muttering to herself whenever we crossed paths. The neighborhood, strangely, became peaceful again. Without her constant meddling, people began relaxing, throwing small gatherings, kids laughing by the lake without Karen yelling about noise violations. And me, I learned something powerful that summer. Some battles aren't worth raising your voice for. Some fights are won not with anger, but with patience. Let people dig their own holes, and when the time is right, let the truth do the talking. Karen thought she was the queen of Lakeview. But she forgot one important thing: queens don't own castles when they're renting them. And in the end, the lesson was clear: never mistake authority for ownership, and never underestimate the quiet strength of someone who knows the ground they're standing on belongs to them. Dash dash dash. Would you like me to extend this even more? Adding dialogue from neighbors, the police visit, and Karen's meltdown when she realized the landlord twist, to really stretch it into a full 15-minute script.